It's been 24 hours since David Ornstein confirmed United were going to pursue other midfield targets, and Youssouf Fofana is the deal that has heated up the most. There was talk of Sander Berge this morning, but United have now entered talks with Monaco, according to more credible sources. There's updates on Rios, Ederson of Atalanta, Subamendi and more, but there could be some issues with the sale of McTominay Casemiro. Some more updates on the potential exit of Lindelof, potential exit of Anthony, updates on that. Could Wan-Bissaka to West Ham be off as Inter Milan maybe hijack the deal? What is the latest on Ligt and Mazraoui? A big boost coming in there as Bayern want Ligt gone, but they are asking for a little bit of a hefty fee and a few other news stories. Hello and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to your 10-minute roundup where we round up all the latest Manchester United news that's come in this evening and a couple of the bigger stories coming in earlier today in 10 minutes for you guys, so you're up to date with all the latest news this evening. And if you didn't have time to catch my live streams, anything I mentioned earlier that was really relevant in there, I'll mention at the end. So let's dive into the stories. Manchester United are considering a move for Atalanta midfielder Ederson as an alternative to Ugarte. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you. Liverpool looked at this guy, Tottenham looked at this guy. I think Atalanta have made it clear they're not selling him yet. I think he's a good player. I think he's very good off the ball. I think there's some limitations potentially on the ball, but we want the destroyer type player, and I think Ederson could potentially be that guy. We've been linked to him before, but I think they're looking at selling Coop Miners, unless he's been sold. I don't know. I don't follow Atalanta. But apparently he's sort of been made clear he's not for sale unless it's a big fee, and I don't think United want to do that. But, it's one to watch. It's one to keep an option on for sure. Now, other players we've been linked to is Sander Berge, the very reliable Laurie Whitwell, confirmed an interesting official approach there. I've always said, well, this is definitely one to watch. For me, it's more of a second midfield signing than the main guy. He's not someone I think, he starts with Maino and Bruno and he levels us up a lot. I like Sander Berge. I don't think he's a bad player. I have no issue with him, but he's not who I'd sign as DM. Richard Rios, a player that I've not watched a lot of, other than a few Copa America bits and pieces, but very impressed with what I saw. But I'd have to see more of him to give you my honest opinion. And Subamendi, a guy I really liked. Maybe some worries physically, but I think technically on the ball, fantastic player. Amrabat could also return. I like Amrabat as a second move signing, but not a lot. We have distanced ourselves from Ugarte. There's also thought to be one or two other unnamed candidates on United's shortlist. Everyone's talking about the Johnny Cardoso guy from Real Betis. Someone wrote a really good thread on him. Again, I'd have to do research on the pair, but looks like a good option. My dream would be Angelo Stiller. Maybe we'd look at an Anton Stack. I think Hjulman's one to watch. Fofana obviously is definitely one to watch. And potentially they're still interested in Andre, but Fulham are also interested in Andre, which might put us in a little bit of a difficult position to sell McTominay. Now, realistically, I think Sander Berge and Youssouf Fofana are our most likely Ugarte alternatives right now. And on Fofana, it has been confirmed just now by Sky that Manchester United have held talks with Monaco to discuss the terms of a transfer for Fofana. Now, this is interesting. This is big. Now, this is more tier 2 than tier 1, but it is Sky. It's a more credible outlet because this morning, well, actually not this morning, this evening, and in my live stream, I reported this. Manchester United are keen to beat Milan in their move for Youssouf Fofana. He's open to a move. Manchester United have already presented an ambitious project to Fofana. United are now getting serious about the opportunity of signing him. Milan are his preference, but it's an open race. Still a gap between Milan and Monaco. Next week will be crucial. So reports from Italy suggested that United are interested in Fofana, he's open to the move. We might look to hijack this like we did with Xerxes. We've presented an ambitious project to him, and now it's been confirmed we're in talks with Monaco. Now, obviously, I think Man United could be being used here in a case to, they got Xerxes when Milan wanted him. Let's link Man United to Fofana. Let's link it to journalists. Now they're out the Ugarte race. Even more reason to link United to Fofana because 1, they hijacked Xerxes from Milan. 2, they tried to sign Fofana last year. And 3, they're out the Ugarte race. It makes sense. This could scare Milan into giving Monaco the money they want. Monaco could be leaking information as a negotiation tactic for sure. But 2, I think the fact that we're now holding talks with Monaco, according to Sky as of today, to talk about Fofana expresses that there's a genuine interest there and we could put in a bid and we could pay that price. We're now having the talks with Monaco. There's an interest in a player. We presented a project to him. We know that. We don't go into talks with a club unless we're interested in buying that player. And I think Youssouf Fofana could really heat up. Now, reports from Italy are saying, watch this one this week. This deal's going to massively heat up this week, which could mean Fofana to Milan. Here we go. The agreement's there. It could mean United hijack. It's one to watch. It's just interesting to know. And I said the same with Xerxes. And, Xerxes ended up coming to United. The same people that linked us to Xerxes first are now the same ones that are linking us back to Fofana. So you never know. But I always think you've got to be skeptical in case it's a game. But anyway, the only problem as well is we're not getting much progress with the outs, which is affecting what we can do with the ins, especially as clubs like a PSG and Bayern are not dropping their valuations. As it stands, Fulham are not expected to return with an improved offer from McTominay, according to Sky. Again, could be a negotiation tactic from Fulham. I think we should be able to get 25 million from McTominay from Fulham or another club, but it's just frustrating that it seems to be, he plays for Man United, so let's drag this on because they're desperate to sell so they can buy Ugarte. Let's see if we can get him on the cheap. I think it's a game. It was said that Manchester United have hoped to sell Casemiro this summer to help fund him a move for a number 6 midfielder, but as things stand, there's yet to be any takes for the Brazilian. I'm almost at the point now where just sell McTominay and Casemiro on the cheap, get them out of the book so we at least have some money to replace them with. I'm honestly at that point, and people are getting angry at Ineos, and I can get that frustration. But at the same time, it's not Ineos' fault. We've given such ridiculous wages to Casemiro and we can't sell him. McTominay could be an easier one to offload, but it's not Ineos' fault that people don't want to bid proper money for our players because they know they used to be able to get them on the cheap. Ineos will kind of got to undo that transfer mess, so it is a very difficult window to sell. Lindelof's salary is a hurdle for suitors in Italy, which again is the problem. There is interest in Lindelof. His agent had talks, but the salary is the issue. Lindelof may think, I could run down my deal and get a big signing bonus and a better salary if I leave on a free. Lindelof may do that. I'm hoping if we sign Ligt and Lindelof knowing he's even further down the pecking order and won't play much next season, which means his offers when he is a free agent will be even worse than potential offers this season, could maybe push him to move. There was rumours of Al Nassr looking to sign Antony, although I did say I don't believe it. It is now being said that Al Nassr are attempting to sign Antony is being downplayed as Saudi clubs are struggling to get the budget that they want as well, which doesn't surprise me. So in regards to Ugarte, it was said that Man United feel the price tag for Manuel Ugarte, 51 million, the same as what cost PSG a year ago, should be more realistic given his limited starts last season. PSG feel said valuation is justified due to interest in him. Well, there's interest in Ugarte, but there's interest in him for 40 million. There's no interest in him for 50 million. Ugarte wants United. He only wants United, and no one's going to give you 51 million for Ugarte. I know that for a fact. He didn't play loads last season. Well, he actually played a fair bit last season, but he wasn't who you wanted. He wasn't who the manager wanted. You've already replaced him. You desperately need the funds, and he wants to go, and the manager doesn't want him. And you have to admit you're going to take a loss. Taking a £9 million loss on a player that you don't want in a year isn't bad. I would take a £9 million loss on majority of our squad. Manuel Ugarte is keen on joining Manchester United due to his interest in their project, but there remains a significant gap in the transfer fee agreement between PSG and Man United through the clubs are still in contact. Man United continue to explore more options for their central midfield. So again, we're looking at other options according to Florian Plettenberg, reliable source, because of the gap. Now, I think it's a situation with Ugarte. I don't think it's over. I think it is, we make some progress on the midfielder and PSG panic because they know he needs to go because they've signed Jan Neves and they need the funds so they can get their Mbappe replacement and say, you know what, we're going to lower the Ugarte fee. You can have him for 42 million. Or we go and sign someone else. Well, I have a feeling PSG could lower the fee, if I'm going to be honest. Continuing on, this was said by Ornstein earlier today. Denzel Dumfries does not intend to engage in negotiations with Inter over a new contract until the end of the transfer window is closed. As things stand, he remains focused on a move elsewhere, the possibility of joining United can particularly appeal. That would only be a potential option if Wan-Bissaka definitely rejects a switch to West Ham United. Wan-Bissaka favours the prospect of having to Inter, but that would open the chance of a Dumfries swap, which has so far been raised by intermediaries rather than between clubs. Man United would still prefer to sell Wan-Bissaka to West Ham and sign Mazraoui of Bayern Munich with talks ongoing. Now, I would rather have Mazraoui than Dumfries. I think Mazraoui's better. I also think that we can potentially get 18 million out of West Ham for Wan-Bissaka, as Dory Whitwell said earlier. I think there's potential that Wan-Bissaka could choose Inter over West Ham, but I think he's very close with West Ham, and I believe he's actually agreed personal terms with West Ham now, or some kind of agreement there. And I think all we're waiting for is a bid from West Ham, and now they've sorted their other deals out these last few days. They should make a bid, and Laurie Whitwell said that United are confident of 18 million, and that will then allow us to get the Mazraoui deal over the line and the Ligt deal over the line. Wan-Bissaka's taken his time, but I think he will be sold. I think he will go West Ham, and I actually think this link of him liking Inter and Inter wanting to do business with us could also just be used because it's come up from David Ornstein to panic West Ham into paying the money for Wan-Bissaka and stop mucking about. In regards to other news, it was said that Bayern are focused on 4 main departures: De Ligt, Mazraoui, and 2 players that we've not been linked to. All other candidates are for sale, all other candidates for sale are expected to stay at this stage. Don't matter about that. The transfer of Desiree Doué and Tar are to be finalised with the process from the proceeds from the sale of De Ligt to Mazraoui. The most important sale to obtain further approval from the Super Review Board is De Ligt to Man United. They want 50 million euros plus add-ons. Now, United are saying we can give you 50 million euros without the add-ons, with the add-ons taking it to 50 million euros. But they want 50 million euros, whereas I think we're willing to do 38 plus 4. I think they should just set 38 plus 4. To be honest, I think £42 million is a fair price. Ignore the add-ons, give them 42 million up front. I think that's a fair price. Get it done. I think with Ugarte, they're taking the mick. With Brentford, they're taking the mick. I get walking away. But I think Ligt for 42 million, get it done. I get that they want the add-ons, but I just think Ligt 42 million, get it done. I think the fact that they need to bring in Doué and Tar, and they're already trying to finalise the Tar deal, they've got verbal agreements for both. The fact that Bayern can't buy those players until Ligt is sold says to me that Ligt will be done. Mazraoui is just dependent on Wan-Bissaka, and I think we'll be able to negotiate a fine price for Mazraoui. I think it's all dependent on Wan-Bissaka. I think Ligt is the one that needs to be sold, and we're waiting for them to lower the fee. There's only 4 million difference in valuation. Bayern will see how we've walked away from Ugarte and we've walked away from Brownplay, and we're pursuing alternatives because we couldn't get them for the price they want. Bayern know that Ligt wants United pushing for the move. Bayern know they need to bring a task, they need to sell Ligt. I think we're in a position of strength where Bayern think, oh, they've lost Euro, we can get a bit more money for them. But ultimately, I do think we could maybe get Ligt for the price we want. I think the fact that they need to sign those two players gives us an advantage. The problem is, from Bayern's perspective, the offer from Manchester United for Ligt is not significant enough to proceed with the deal. The two clubs remain apart in transfer fee. Bayern still demand 50 million euros plus bonuses. Negotiating for Mazraoui are concrete at this stage, with the transfer fee expected of at least 25 million euros all in. Still waiting for Wan-Bissaka and West Ham. I mean, to be honest, 70 million euros is what is being said that they want for Ligt to Mazraoui, which is 59 million pounds, which is the most I would go. Not 75 million euros. That is too much, and you can't blame United for that. But it is waiting on Wan-Bissaka to West Ham. But as United faithful said, Florian Plettenberg saying that signing Tar and Desiree Doué depends on the funds from Ligt to Mazraoui. Hopefully they accept our next offer. Now, I don't know if you watched some of my earlier videos, but I said, and I think yesterday's video or the day before, there was news coming out from very credible sources that we're going to make a second bid for Ligt and Mazraoui this week. So definitely keep an eye on that. Thank you for watching. Please hit that like button. Of course, subscribe down below if you're new. See you next time. Bye.